I think I saw that you came full circle all the way around and finally decided that LeBron is actually greater than Jordan. Is that what you said? Do you want to call
I've said that. I said he's the greatest, greater person. There's no greater athlete than LeBron James.
Jesus the best. It's your boy MoFresh. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. Skip is going to address Stephen A., which a lot of people have a whole bunch of thoughts on, but he just secured a major bag. I'm talking, was it 5 years, $100 million? And it's because of the lane that Stephen A.'s been able to craft for himself. And now he has his own podcast that I can see most likely he's using the same ESPN studio, which is also very successful. So as a personality, this is what you all want. You know, this is not the time to be hating on Stephen A. for his thoughts or him getting pressed by LeBron, which he did get pressed. But this is the time to really celebrate him. But it's interesting because now we're going to listen to him talk about LeBron James, who he's always said was the second best player of all time, you know, and Michael Jordan's a GOAT. But we saw recently that that could have changed. Skip is about to address it. Let's just watch the clip. I did a lot of talking.
I did see this the other day, and I got to ask you about it because I'm still not sure about it, but I think I saw that you came full circle all the way around and finally decided that LeBron is actually greater than Jordan. Is that what you said? Or
What
do you
I
want to?
said- Yeah, I'll make sure they got it right because Lord knows that in social media and beyond, they'll get it wrong. I have never seen a greater player than Michael Jordan.
Thank you.
At his peak. There is only one. He is one of one. But I've also never seen someone for as great for as long as they have been great as LeBron James.
Well,
To
sure.
be from his rookie campaign to his 22nd
Skip's
year
not buying
in
it.
the league, and to be as great as he has been, it's just undeniable. I mean, facts are facts. Now, don't tell me that LeBron James at his best eclipsed Michael Jordan at his best. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to listen to it. I know what I
Okay.
saw with my own two damn eyes. It ain't happening. But Jordan gave you 13 years in Chicago, gave you 15 overall.
He did.
And LeBron is in his 22nd year, averaging
Yep.
25, 10, and 7. It is undeniable. You know, he wins player of the
Okay, I swear this is the only time I'm going to pause it, but you cannot sit here and tell me that there's another greater basketball player than the all-time leading scorer not by 10,000 points, and he's not slowing down. Like, he might finish with 55,000 points. If he plays 2 more years, he might finish with 55 freaking thousand points. And you're telling me there's another better basketball player? And one thing that Stephen A. keeps saying is that it's because he's seen it with his own eyes. And Skip's saying the same thing. And of course, at that time, Michael Jordan jumps out the frame. Like there was nobody like a Michael. Guys, they're talking about sentimentality, about what they seen, and you know, Jordan and Space Jam. That's the Michael Jordan that they have as the GOAT. It just so happens that there actually is a better basketball player, not just from what you could see with your own eyes, because they seen both, but just look, not just the numbers, guys. But if we're going to talk about him beating the Golden State Warriors team, which is coming down 3-1, which is arguably the greatest team that was ever assembled. I'm going to stop right there.
the month of February
'Cause
in
I could go on and on.
2022. Just like he won player of the month in February in 2005. That's 20
did.
years apart.
It's unbelievable.
Player of the month. It's unreal. It's undeniable. So I do think that he deserved the respect to categorize it that way. But Michael Jordan will forever be my GOAT. I can't imagine seeing anybody that I would say would eclipse Michael Jordan. Not with what I saw with my own two eyes.
Okay. Is it fair to say that LeBron is then the longevity GOAT or king or however you want to call
I've
it?
said that. I said he's the greatest. He's the greatest in the category of longevity. There is no greater person. There's no greater athlete than LeBron James. I will totally concede that.
But we have to point out, for perspective, LeBron has now played 585 more games than Jordan played because, as you well know, Jordan's career virtually ended in 98 in Chicago. He came back 3 years later
He
for
came back for an
2
ownership stake.
ceremonial years, sort
He
of.
came from an ownership
right?
stake in the Washington Wizards that went awry. That's why he
Yeah.
came back. It's the only reason he came
Okay.
back.
All right. So help me out here. People say I pick on LeBron, I overpick on him. I'm too harsh in my criticism, but I'm watching LeBron James in year 21 and 22 shoot the ball so much better than he did for his first 20 years of his career that it haunts me, it perplexes me, it deeply frustrates me that he was such a poor shooter from three and the free throw line. Like I did the average. There were 19 years before last year in which if you took the average from three of those 19 years, he was 31% from three. Well, you know, and I know by his standards, the greatest scorer in the history of basketball standards, that's pathetic. 31%. And I don't know why he couldn't have gotten better from three and especially from the free throw line for 20 years until now. I don't know what got into him, but he did get in the lab and put in the work to make himself a better shooter in his 21st and 22nd years.
And I'm going to tell you why, Skip. Thank you for asking. Because the league changed because of a guy who's a little bit lighter than me named Steph Curry, who changed the whole NBA. So now teams chuck up threes at unprecedented numbers. So, of course, the greatest scorer now adjusting to the change of the league is going to... You can't tell me in Miami that everybody was shooting threes, teams were shooting threes at the same rate and pace and aggressiveness as they are now. You can't tell me that was... You cannot tell me that was a fact. Because it wasn't. What's happening now... the rise in the 3-point percentage, and you could check up any of the guys who've been able to play in both eras, it is largely due because of the makeup of the teams now favor the three. Now it's more possible for big men, 7'6" centers like Wemby to play like he's a power forward or a small forward, checking up one-legged threes. Skip. The greatest scorer in the history of the game did not need to score threes to be the greatest scorer in the history of the game.
Well, there's several incentives that point to that. Number one, when you can shoot, you don't have to work as hard to score buckets. And he didn't mind doing that as a 6'9", 250 to 260 pound juggernaut throughout his younger years. But now that he's eclipsed age 40, and you know there's more wear and tear on your body, it's a lot easier when you can shoot the basketball from the outside than having to be a man amongst boys, even though he is a man amongst boys because of his physical prowess, obviously. You know, the bottom line is it's easier. That's number one. Number two, Anthony Davis was there, and they had made a commitment that he was going to be the focal point of the offense.
Yep.
And so with Anthony Davis being who he is, that also encouraged LeBron James to shoot better from the outside, because if anything was going to be done on the interior, primarily you wanted it to be Anthony Davis that was delivering those goods for you. So that's number two. And then number three, now that Luka has arrived in Los Angeles, I mean, Luka's going to have the ball in his hand. So essentially in football parlance, you're talking about LeBron James being a wideout. You're talking about him catching a deep pass, meaning that if you're Luka, you got the ball in your hands and you're such an outstanding passer. Just watch Luka. He makes some magnificent passes and what have you. You know, he's going to find you. He's going to find guys. And then you look at an Austin Reeves. He can shoot. You look at Connect. He can shoot, okay? And so you see some of these. Gabe Vincent was key threes and stuff like that the other night. See all of this going on, and you've got Luka, who requires double coverage. You're not single covering Luka Doncic, okay? So because of that, you know, you sitting up there, you throwing over the head passes to people like LeBron James, like others, like Austin Reeves and others, and LeBron James is getting more opportunities from the outside as well. So all of that plays a role. Plus, he went in the lab and worked on it, but all of those things contributed to him becoming a better shooter.
Guys, it's not close, but let me know what you think. Jesus is the best. It's your boy MoFresh. Shout out to these two legends in this space coming together and just sharing their thoughts.